pretty past all over your tongue. Could you ever let me go? I'll never ever leave you alone. It's the writing on the wall.
Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is actually Meet My Maker, because it was the first single that we released, and it's also the opener of the album. And I think one of the things that I had in mind when we started producing, compared to the first EP that we also did together, was that I wanted to maybe do more of effects on the voice, and to use the voice more as an instrument sometime, and also change the character of the voice. And Meet My Maker was funny because I think it was not really planned. I think it was by accident that before I came to you with it, I recorded it a semitone higher and sang over it, and then for some reason, I don't remember why, I changed it one semitone down, so my whole voice also switched down.
And it sounds great.
And it sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds great. Yeah, definitely. That was a happy accident. If you didn't, I thought you planned it like that, but if not, it's a really nice accident.
Yeah.
We tried to really push the voice with a lot of effects, no? With different kind of effects. I remember doing quite a deep work with delays and reverbs, and in which we made like different changes, combining reverbs and delays and splitting them. Some songs we used flanger in the reverb, it was really interesting. It's a work that I before that I never did. I didn't have that kind of experience before, so it was really interesting things to do. It was fun.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's the darkest song on the record, because it also is about grief and death, and how to not be able to deal with that, and to also like to change the voice and to do it more dark. It just fit the song very well, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And another thing that I remember was, because in the first verse that you have this, of course, this voice that we were talking about, this deeper voice, and then out of a sudden comes this choir part. Bang! Yeah, really, really tall. I think, I don't know how many voices of myself it was. 12 or so, I don't know.
Yeah, it was
yeah. And I
quite
remember,
a lot.
And I remember I recorded the choir of already also in my own studio. And sometimes with backing vocals, I'm really picky. I really don't like to change them anymore, because they sound the greatest when you record it the first time. But then you convinced me to do it again at your place, because I remember that, because in your Chitakai studio in Berlin, you had this little regie room where we did the recording, the vocals also. But then we decided to open the door to the, more like the living room where you can sit down, you have a drink and stuff, because you had a more natural reverb there. You remember that?
Yeah, it was absolutely live, no?
Yeah.
And it's all concrete. It's all
more reflections.
How do you say? Yeah,
concrete.
So it's,
So we kind of created a natural churchy sound there, because of course, as I said, it's really a gospel feel, and it just supported the whole character of the song. And already the title "Meet My Maker" has like some kind of religious connotations, and I'm not really religious, but I think, like, to think about grief and in a time when you're not really religious, I think there's maybe a problem with dealing with that, because you don't have any recipe how to deal with death. And maybe that is also what made this gospel part, made it work pretty well in this song, I guess. Yeah.
It's a moving song for me, no? It's like it has a really intense feeling when I listen to it. And yes, I remember sometimes of being in the edge of emotional, It's a really deep song for me, like in all aspects. In like it's a good song.
Yeah. Thanks. we talked about vocals before, but I think we also, when we started, said that we wanted to create more textures. We wanted not to have like a very clean sound, but more some kind of noise stuff, some kind of maybe little glitchy sounds. And I think in Meet My Mecca we have this because there's so little stuff going on that we created some stuff. You remember how we did some these little noisy parts?
Yeah, if I don't remember wrong, it was like kind of the hiss
Mm-hmm.
of I don't know if it was the Space Echo or something that had a lot of hiss, you know, and I cranked it up
Mm-hmm.
and chopped it and then put it back. So it's really subtle. It's like you sometimes you hear it and it's like, hey, what? But it has like a rhythmical sequence. It's on purpose,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, we were trying things, no? So it was like kind of, and I love it when when I listen to these things because I know they are there,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so we always recommend listening on headphones because it's if you're into little geeky details, you will have fun with that record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the thing with the with the percussions that we did on that song. I remember it was not easy to like find the right sounds and the right amount of percussive things in that. It's kind of a ballad, no? It's a sad, long song. It hasn't have the need of a beat or something like that. So it was like that was interesting to deal with, and I think we came up with something interesting. No, that this big bass drum with long reverb, you know.
Yeah, exactly. I think it only appears once or twice in the whole song.
Twice or three. Yeah. And it's like it stunk the rest of the whole song because I made a like a side chain, but a really big side chain. Like
so everything is ducking in the moment where the bass drum comes
everything
in.
is ducking, and there is some little electronic percussive elements that are doing like lightning over, like so it's I think that was a nice detail anyway.
Yeah, definitely.